So it's really starting to get to my idea of having
Fleet.
a game running every day. It's almost there.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing setup. You should do
Yeah.
a what if and have the other ships fight each other, like a what if in another dimension. That'd be fun.
That'd be a lot of schedules to try and get in order.
Oh, you should have seen the first fleet action. That was no fun.
That was when we only had 2 ships.
Yeah. I can't even imagine trying to do a fleet action with all 3 of them.
Oh.
Was it that hard to schedule between the 2 of us?
It wasn't so much the scheduling because you guys all seemed to be free that Thursday. It was more about trying to figure out how I can get every single player it would have been 14 people involved. And that was the hard part.
Yeah, it's hard with different time zones because, there's a 5-hour difference sometimes,
Oh, there's more than that. I think. Between West Coast and
West Coast UK. Yeah.
I think Candy's 5 hours in the future, actually.
Yeah, it's currently midnight for me.
Yes, you're in the future. I'm in the past.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think if everyone's ready to go, I think I can run with 5. We'll just have to make one change. Just basically, Commander, pick who's the 3rd person in the shuttle.
Got it.
And I think we'll go from there.
Well, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab a drink and something if you don't mind.
All that time to do it. And you waited till we were starting.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I got mine like 15 minutes ago. For a few minutes.
All right. I'm good.
So your captain's log is not first; it's the other action first. So I would just need to know who's on the.
Oh, I'm thinking Evans.
Okay. Cool. All right, and since Nave is not in the first scene, I think we can go ahead and start. So we'll start in scene 1. So how I have you guys starting off, Pend, Evans, and Efrix are on an away team in a shuttle. You have been in this shuttle for about 5 days, and you've been on kind of like a planetary survey mission. And you've actually been on a survey mission inside of inside the borders of a newly discovered species that has actually contacted the Federation for a trade negotiation. But that's not important for you guys. So basically what is just happening is you guys have just entered orbit of an M-class moon orbiting a gas giant. And I will let you guys go from there.
So how are you 2 holding up after 5 days?
Well, my legs have been better stretched in the past.
Well, luckily shuttles aren't too cramped, but it can get a little too much for people who aren't used to it.
Oh, that it can.
What about
you 2 holding up?
Me, I'm fine. What about you, Doc?
Did we lose the Doc?
Oh, am I in the scene?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
I was not aware that, because I missed when you guys were describing what was happening. Sorry.
Yeah, so basically you guys, yourself, Pend, and Evans have been on this shuttle for about 5 days doing a planetary survey inside the borders of a new race you guys have been contacted by. And you guys are just role-playing.
Okay. I mean, the data is fascinating. so
It,
I'm okay.
it generally is when you start dealing with new planets.
I mean, not just that, just how you all handle being in an enclosed space together for such a long period of time.
Oh, I'm used to it. I fly shuttle ships, so I'm used to being in confined spaces.
Yes, but
Don't forget he crashed the last ship he was on.
Hey, don't jump into a scene you're not in.
All right, my bad. Fourth wall.
that's not necessarily what I mean. But yes, okay.
Why, what do you mean, Doctor? Pray tell.
Just how you interact with each other more than how you deal with the space itself. You're such differing personalities.
That's one word for it. Why? How would you describe us?
Well, I don't want to push anyone while we're in such a confined space, so maybe I'll wait till we're back on the ship to tell you that.
Whatever suits you, Doc. But don't worry, I've not got thin skin.
You know, you're surprisingly nice for a Tellarite.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not very Tellarite-like, so you're going to get that quite a bit.
I mean, I'm not personally complaining. It's once again interesting to observe.
Well, I can be observed anytime you like. I think, considering each of the doctors we've had previously either don't like me or think I'm trying to take over the universe, I'm happy for something different.
Why would they think that?
No reason.
Are you? She narrows her eyes at you.
Let's keep it at no for now.
All right. I mean, you don't give off that appearance, but I've only known you for a short period of time.
Well, let's just keep it at that. As long as no one thinks I'm actually trying to take over the universe, my plans will succeed.
She looks confused and then immediately starts writing on her pad.
What about you, Evans? Have you got anything interesting up your sleeve?
Nothing particularly interesting up my sleeves. Oh.
Well, let's say it's very good to have you stimulating our conversation, Evans.
If you wanted a conversational stimulation, you really need to be looking elsewhere for that.
Noted. I will keep that in mind for all future reference. So, I won't give anything away, but you might be getting a surprise sometime in the next couple of weeks.
You get a very worried look from Evan.
You get a big grin from Pend. Just beware.
Looks back to my console.
Right, and as you guys are cruising in orbit, you notice a bright flash of light coming from the planet's surface, and it appears to be an energy beam, and it intercepts with your shuttle. And
Oh,
Penn, you
shit.
notice that propulsion and navigation have been knocked out.
Have we still got life support and shields?
I will give that to the person that would know that.
Shields are holding.
And life support?
that be me?
You're
nope,
not there.
I believe
nope.
it's still online.
It's me. Online.
Okay. So we're currently flying dead in the water, unless we're being pulled towards the planet.
You are definitely being tugged toward the planet.
Shit. Okay.
Are communications up?
Are they up?
I want to spend 2 threat and make them not up.
Wait, make what not be up?
Communication.
Communications.
Do we have a boy?
What?
A communications boy.
Buoy. Okay.
Sorry, different part of the planet here.
Yeah, I know. I was like, do we have a boy?
2.
I mean,
You could just jettison Evans into space. He could catch ship.
Yes, I'll be a communications boy.
Wow. Yes. Sorry for actually having a different. Yeah. Have we got a buoy then? Have we got any buoys?
Yes, Evans, you do.
Evans, can you launch one? See if you can contact the Kismet.
Alright, I shall get that done. And launching buoy.
And it launches without fail.
Are we able? Evans, Doc, could one of you scan this beam? See what's happening?
And you are definitely now caught in the planet's gravitational pull, and you are being sped faster toward the planet's surface.
oh boy.
Shit. Can I try to even us out and restart the engines?
And you're falling even faster toward the planet. You're going to have to think about landing it soon.
I mean,
So
we're
do
still,
we
we're
have
still gonna need
thrusters?
engines for that, right? Thrusters.
Yeah, I think engines are offline at this stage.
Oh, but are thrusters part of the engine system?
Not necessarily.
Because unless
Yeah,
you
they
have
could
lost
land
helm,
without.
then you might
Yeah.
have it.
Okay. Is there anywhere that looks like a decent enough landing space, or anywhere large enough to land a shuttle?
Yeah, you'd think you could pick out a landing spot
Then I will attempt.
quickly while you're falling from the sky.
I will attempt to use my maneuvering thrusters to put us down as smoothly as possible.
All right, this will be daring and con difficulty 2, no assist from the ship. Is the 1 and a 0 what you rolled?
Yeah.
Okay. You just have a lot of rolls up there. All right. And it's storming here. Awesome.
Actually, I have pushed the limits. I've got if it's damage to the engines or environmental conditions, it reduces the difficulty by 1.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, then you will succeed at that task.
Okay.
Okay. So the
Yay.
shuttle lands. You end up landing in a town near the southernmost part of a continent in the southern hemisphere. It also happens to be night on this side of the planet. And the townsfolk are awoken by the noise and walk out of their homes. The townsfolk look mostly human except for like a small diamond-shaped hardened ridge on their nose. And they're all kind of looking around the shuttle, like eerily, how do I say this? They're all curious about what just happened.
Evans, Doc, stock up. Let's get a quick scan of the surroundings and make sure we're not in any danger.
And as you issue that order, you notice that a elderly-looking man walks up to the side of the shuttle and kind of knocks on the door.
Someone's ringing the bell.
Can we open communications to the outside like a loudspeaker?
Not sure if you had a loudspeaker.
Oh, not a loudspeaker, but is there any way to project a voice outside of the shuttle?
Well, not with communications down.
Okay. Evan and Stock again, kit up. I'm going to say hello to the locals. Because this can't go horribly wrong.
Well, hopefully it doesn't. Because we are outnumbered.
We open the shuttle door.
All right. Once you open the door and you kind of take a step out, the elderly man walks about 5 meters from the door of the shuttle and says, "The gods have returned." And I think with that, we'll go on to scene 2 with the commander's log.
Oof. Okay. Acting Captain's Log, Stardate 53355.5. Captain Grennan has retreated to his quarters after the suicidal actions of the insectoid species we encountered recently. Sometimes I fear he does not have the stomach for life on the front lines. I've tried to get him to speak to Counselor Zolan, but he's barricaded his door and refuses visitors. Anyways, Starfleet has received word from a species called the Astronus. They've been monitoring our activities in the Shackleton Expanse. They are interested in opening trade talks with the Federation. To this end, they've allowed the Kismet to conduct surveys of some of their territory. I've sent Lieutenant Evans, Lieutenant Pend, and Dr. Efrix on one of these survey missions. They've been gone for approximately 5 days. The Astronus delegation is preparing to beam over. I wish I had a dedicated diplomat for this. The captain's background would have been useful for this mission. Most likely why Starfleet gave us this operation in the first place. End log.
Oh, that was good.
All right. I think I'm actually going to start this mission in the transporter room, probably with the commander in his dress uniform.
Being slightly uncomfortable.
Is there anyone else in there with you, Commander?
Let's see. There are no player characters. I can say that much. Let's see. I think I have Zolan down there with me and Cecile.
Okay. Cool. So we'll go ahead and start this. So the Astronis appear on the transporter pad. There are 3 members of the delegation, each wearing silky black robes. The Astronis are a humanoid race that looks similar to humans, except they have dark red spots on both sides of their heads, kind of near their temples. As they materialize on the pad, the one in the middle, what you can tell is a female, says, "Hello, Commander. Thank you for inviting us for these trade negotiations."
It's my pleasure, Ambassador.
Is Captain Grennan going to be joining us?
It seems unlikely.
That is a shame. We were looking forward to meeting him.
I was looking forward to having him in these negotiations myself, but he's currently
Very well.
of a recent mission we were on.
Very well. We are anxious to see Starfleet's first class accommodations. We wish to settle in before our trade talks next cycle.
Very good. This way.
This is quite an impressive ship you have here, Commander.
Thank you. It's a good ship, good crew.
Probably should have you guys walk out of the transporter room now.
Yes.
All right. I think I might jump back to the planet because that's really all I had written for this scene. Unless you got anything else you want to do with them.
Nope. I take him to our diplomatic quarters because we're a ship.
All right. All right. So
What's that movie where the aliens have the spots on their head? Alien Nation. Remember that movie? It's like an old school 80s movie. They're like bald, spots on their head.
Can't say I do.
I don't know.
Anyways.
This reminded me of that. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the name of the movie. It's they were bald. They had like a bunch of spots on their heads. They look
All
like
right.
people.
Yeah. So we'll head back to the planet. So this is right after he says the gods have returned. The elderly man continues, "Come, come, everyone! The gods have returned. Everyone, get your finest foods, your finest possessions, for the gods have returned."
Nope. 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 That's all I've got so far. Nope. Nope. Not
Come on,
gods.
get the meal out of this.
Come, come, you must be hungry from your long journey. Come, eat, rest. Tomorrow we will show you how much we have stockpiled.
Excuse me, friend. What's your name, please?
Oh, I never named the guy.
The bane of every GM.
I know. I was so caught up in what the hell the name of the race was called, I forgot to name this guy. Make one up for me, Pend. It doesn't matter.
Kaldar?
That works for me.
That's a good one.
So, Kaldar.
You may call me Kaldar, honored one.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Kaldar. Unfortunately, we're not gods, but it's very nice to meet you.
You must be our gods. There's no other explanation for you traveling through the stars. You must be our gods.
We can discuss this at a later date, but as long as you mean us no harm, we mean you no harm.
We weren't expecting you for another 2 standard rotations, so we will not have all you demanded of us, but we do not question your wisdom. Please come. We have lodgings for you so that you may rest.
I just looked back at both of them. I don't know what's happening.
We should probably go.
Thank you, Kildar. We will accept your invitation.
Yes, yes, come, eat, rest. And he starts leading you toward some buildings that are kind of near the crash site. I mean, it seems you guys landed right in the center of town.
Evans, close the shuttle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I close it as I'm the last one to leave.
And remember, always close the shuttle on your way out, people. It saves energy and lives.
God, right.
Don't forget to set the alarm.
Oh, yeah, set the alarm, Evans.
Beep, beep.
What alarm?
Yes, yes, right this way, honored ones, right this way. Come. And you guys walk into what looks to be like a higher quality building than the rest of the surrounding buildings. And inside seems to be their idea of what you might think of luxury. You know, there's like nicely made beds, there's food laid out. All the lighting is from candlelight.
They're like tribal.
Right.
Cool.
Great.
So think of something in, like, I don't know, the medieval times, and it's kind of the vibe this place is giving.
Bronze Age or something?
Like the building style is probably more medieval. You know, wooden build, you know.
Keldar, can you tell me what that beam of light that came from your planet was?
Oh, you said never to go toward the source of that. You said that is how you guide your ships in.
Oh. I'm glad none of you broke your word.
Oh, we do not question your words, honored one.
We are very pleased, thank you for doing that.
I must say, you look different from the other ones, but we do not question your methods. We know you must be our gods.
And what do the others look like?
Well, you don't have the red markings on your face, but you have the methods and understandings that are beyond us, your humble servants. So surely you must be them. You have come from the stars.
It's highly possible, but for now, I think we will forego the meal if you can just show us a place of rest.
And he kind of just, you know, shows you like there's just kind of beds that are just kind of off to one of the sides. Here, please rest on these, made from our finest wood, our finest craftings.
Thank you. Are these like in like a different room with a door?
Unfortunately, that's all we can build with the materials you have given us. Hopefully, this is to your liking.
It is.
It is.
Yes. Could we have some privacy, please?
Oh, of course, of course. If there's anything you need, please let one of us know. And he slowly makes toward the door.
Thank you.
And eventually exits.
Oh shit.
That's accurate way to explain it. Yes.
I would have liked to avoid this, but we kind of crashed in the middle of town.
Yeah. I mean, you landed. We are all in one piece. So good job.
Yeah, sure.
We didn't land on any of them.
Fortunately, no.
And we're all alive, so no loss of life. That's a good thing. Starfleet likes that. What are we gonna do?
My guess would be the first thing we should do probably is get to the beam projector, whatever mechanism that is.
I don't think that's what we should do straight away, but definitely it's something we should do. We could spend a couple of hours in once light comes up, getting some readings around town. Because we don't even know, one, if the food they're offering us is edible, or two, anything about anything on this planet.
I mean, we know a little bit about it. I mean, we've been scanning it for 5 days.
Yeah, but there's a difference between scanning it in a shuttle in orbit in a system to scanning it on the ground.
Yeah. I'm just saying we don't know. It's not like we don't know anything. We know a little bit. And I can check the food. Probably surreptitiously. To find out if it's gonna kill us if we eat it.
I mean, we've also got tricorders, so we could definitely just scan the food.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's using big words, Pen.
And don't use no big words.
But yes, scans of the food do show them to be edible.
Ed,
Huh.
just as a question, do we know of the other species, one that's currently having the diplomacy on the ship?
I'm sure you've probably seen communications from them.
So we know
You
what
know,
they look like.
Right.
Right.
Ooh.
We gave you a thorough mission briefing.
So that's great. We're trying to make peace with people that basically keep others in squalor.
Well, according to what the negotiations are about, it's possible trade. But if they're making trades off civilizations who aren't even space worthy yet, that could be an issue.
I think it is an issue.
That's why I want to get a bit more information around town first.
Anybody any good with communication system?
Not particularly experienced with that.
I've tinkered with engines. I'd never tinkered with a communications system.
You didn't happen to take any engineering classes in Starfleet Academy, did you?
I took enough just for engines and warp cores. I don't know about anyone else.
I pretty extensively threw myself into science and medicine.
Great.
Well, it looks like Penn is our resident expert on the communications then.
Well, that makes you the one talking to the people, Evans.
Yay!
You sound so enthusiastic.
I mean, I could talk to them.
Well, at least we're not violating the Prime Directive in the worst way possible.
Yeah, not the worst way.
To be fair, they've already been visited by spacefaring species.
Well, considering we have some form of a plan now, let's go with you two going around scanning, talking to the residents. I can work on the shuttle to try and get some communications. After that, we might have to see what's happening at this beam which knocked out our engines.
So you said you're gonna try to figure out what the beam is doing?
Eventually, but I want to try and work on the shuttle first while you two work your way around town. I think you two charismatic eggheads could manage that.
Oh, we're gonna. Hang on. He's asking questions.
How do I change servers? I've never had to do that before.
Oh, I'll do it. If are you guys having trouble with the servers?
Or is it just
I'm
me?
not. I was earlier.
You guys easy.
Let me do a speed check.
So Evans, can you
It could
hear
be
us?
my. I can hear you now, but it's pretty spotty.
It may just be you. I'm not.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Well, my download speed's alright.
Well, it was a case of I think you and the doctor are going around talking to people and getting as much information as you can with your tricorders and just general information while I mess with the ship.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
But we should probably get some rest.
Well, I don't know. They seemed like they had plans for us tomorrow.
Well, I don't like playing up to this, but if they think we're their gods, don't we make the rules?
You cut out.
Just not say if they think we're gods, doesn't that mean we make the rules?
Theoretically,
So I'm not a big fan of playing up to that, but I mean, if anyone's got any other suggestions, please throw them out there.
so resting then?
Rest and see what we can do tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, so everyone's going to sleep. Excellent. All right, I think we'll actually where am I? We'll jump back to the ship. And actually, I think we're going to jump all the way to the negotiations.
Great.
So, Commander, feel free to set up whatever you like before the Astronis come in.
Let's see. Set up some like culturally appropriate food, I guess. This is not the type of diplomacy I was used to.
Yes, but doesn't somebody else on your staff possibly have stuff like that?
Diplomacy? I mean, Maeve does, but she's still on probation.
Well, you've got a counselor who has philosophy.
Yeah. I definitely do have Zolan with me. Let's see. I have Zolan up here.
Her name is
And-
actually probably Wella. Denobulans don't really use last names, they just do for Starfleet.
Wella. And yeah, I guess I'll allow Netta to be there as well.
Cool.
And I am uncomfortably in my dress uniform, so they are too. That's how command works.
If I've got to suffer, so do you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, let me know when you want to jump to them entering.
Oh, whenever.
Okay. Let me get some water first.
Okay.
Every fucking mission he crashes the shuttle.
I know.
Well, Penn, this time you landed it successfully.
I succeed
didn't
every
crash
time, and you crash me.
Can I roll to land? No.
He did roll to land, and he landed it.
This time.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that much trouble with anything.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go ahead and
Fine.
let me get to my special effects. Oh, that's not it.
They beam in from their quarters.
That's definitely not the one I was trying to do. Sorry. That one. So yeah, the Astronis enter the conference room.
Yeah.
Okay. And they notice that there are 3 seats laid out for all their delegates, and they decide to, and they take their seats. as I'm sure you gesture them to them.
I do. I say, welcome.
Commander, I didn't know you would be leading these trade negotiations. I thought the captain would be joining us.
That was the plan. But as I said, he is preoccupied with the ramifications from a recent tragedy.
Well, we hope the captain will be able to come to these negotiations soon.
Such is my hope.
But I see no reason why we cannot at least start the negotiations.
Indeed.
So, what we have to offer, Commander, we have the standard stuff, which I'm sure mighty grouping of planets like the Federation has, dilithium, duranium. However, what we can offer you, which is found nowhere else in the galaxy, are certain exotic plants that are perfect for scientific study. And use of these plants, we have created medical supplies, which our doctors say are vastly superior to your own. These are some of the things that we can offer in trade.
Intriguing. Now, building successful trade relations is one of the Federation's means of fostering diplomacy with other governments out here in the stars. What are the things that your people search for?
Well, Captain, it's very simple. What we find lacking in our society and what our scans of your vessels have shown is that you have better capacity for dilithium refinement than we do. And we are desperately in need of this technology. It would be better for our ships, for our power conservation. It would be better for our buildings, our power plants. Basically, our entire civilization will benefit from having having a better refinement technology. Something that you have on every ship that we have.
A exchange of information would benefit our peoples the most here.
Well, what information could we possibly offer you?
Well, you said yourself you have advanced medical practices, the likes of which we do not have access to. Perhaps if our scientists and doctors and engineers were able to collaborate, they'd be able to bridge the gaps in both of our understandings.
This I believe would be acceptable, Commander. I believe you are a sound diplomat yourself, if I must say so.
There are certain skills that transfer between professions. And command lends itself to negotiation.
Is there anything else you think you would need from us, Commander?
The Federation does like to know who it is we deal with, and obviously you know this. Our shuttles have been surveying elements of your system. So, exchange of information, I believe, is the primary means in which we like to conduct ourselves. Do you think your people would be amicable with such an arrangement?
What exactly information are you looking for, Commander?
Perhaps not so much specifics as a fostering of a closer relation between our two peoples.
I mean, I don't know what we could possibly offer you. I mean, you guys seem to have everything on your ships.
The knowledge we seek amongst the stars isn't always about having better technology, making ourselves into better people. So the Federation encompasses many cultures, and in those cultures we try to find the elements of truth that can propel us forward into a greater self-discovery by having dialogues with new species and new civilizations. We push that search ever onward.
Well, we too share in that belief, Commander. We believe that we could always learn something from other races, other beings that share the galaxy with us.
It is good to find those who think alike to you. However, on more mundane matters, if we are to have some sort of cooperation, there are specifics that I believe my associates here can discuss with you at length.
Maybe you could trade like history or culture, like historical. Is this the first time we encountered these people? This species?
Probably first time physically, but they've been in communication for, I don't know, a week or so.
Yeah. Essentially, what I'm doing is facilitating further cultural exchange.
They don't really have anything, do they?
So yeah, so basically what they offered is like basically a better medical supplies
Mm-hmm.
is essentially what they have.
Yeah, and I'm trying to spin that into the idea of scientific collaboration rather than a one-time trade of knowledge.
So the role for negotiations would be reasoning and command with focus use, right?
Well, like this is more of a role play thing instead of a role thing.
Oh, all right.
Which is why I've been giving these improv speeches.
I know they're really good. You're good on the fly, man. That's like really good.
On a more of a role play scenario than anything.
And now I want to roll for something. No.
I think we've only had the one roll so far.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, Lieutenant Navis, if there's anything you want to contribute role play wise, by all means, you're in the room with them.
No, I just said the thing about the culture, but I guess you guys already are well aware of their culture. So no, I'm just chilling.
All right. And someone's pinging me on Discord. Hold on. I need to mute a server. You people, be quiet. I'm in a game. Okay. I'm back. So yeah, my idea here is that I've been talking to the ambassador and his associates, probably talking to Wella and Nave about specifics now.
Okay, cool. So I think with that, we could probably head back to the surface crew, because I think that's a good place to transition over. So while you guys are still sleeping, it's probably right around dawn, and the elder walks into where you guys are sleeping, and gently-ish wakes all of you up and says, "Good morning, our beloved gods.
So
Sorry I have awakened you, but we have gathered all the stockpiles we could gather for your inspection."
Good job. We will be out shortly to inspect.
If
This
you
is
are
true.
hungry or require anything before we head out, just let me know and I will have your caregivers prepare it for you.
We'll probably be fine for now. We'll be out momentarily.
Okay, I will wait right outside when you are ready, honored ones.
Thank you.
Now I've just got this image of the doctor just like standing around, moving around while Penn and Evans are trying to sleep, and I love it.
Just like casually like pick up a candle. Oh shit! Put it back.
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Accidentally trips over Heaven's foot. I'm
Oh, sorry.
Why are you walking on my bed?
So, do you guys remember the plan?
I'm a little curious about how we're going to get them to let you go deal with the shuttle while we go talk to them. I think we're gonna all have to go, at least at first.
I will try and god bullshit my way to the shuttle. How does that sound?
I mean, sure.
I never thought I'd use that sentence ever.
Oh, and Penn.
Yes.
Before we start BSing our way through this, I've been thinking about an easy way to explain why I don't know anything about the situation.
Lay it on
I
us.
think it would be good to keep our story straight. So, all I've been able to come up with is we are from internal affairs.
I mean,
Great.
I like the enthusiasm, Evans. I really do. I love it. But we should probably go with we're testing them on their knowledge of us.
Is up to snuff.
Yeah, precisely. Let's keep it simple, Evans. Let's not make it more difficult, please. But
So no internal affairs?
we'll keep that as plan B. Like a real solid maybe plan C.
Maybe just skip all the way to Plan Z.
If all else fails, you can take the lead as internal affairs. Doctor, can you do the speaking for you two?
Sure.
Thank you. Evans, just smile and look pretty. You're good at that. You get 2 thumbs up.
You think I'm pretty?
Oh god.
I think he might be mocking you.
I'm going to the shuttle.
So we go out,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. Well then, do I have random city noise? What did he give me in all these sound effect stuff?
A lot of stuff. Not necessarily intuitively organized, but a lot of stuff.
Oh, that's planet music. That's not what I want. I want planet ambience. Rain, desert winds. Nope, nothing works. I need like random city noise.
But like not industrial city.
Right.
I think that'd just be more like crowd sounds.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll do without. So you guys step out of the building.
Yep.
All right. Just as you exit, you notice the elder standing there, and he says, if you please follow me."
Keldar, before we follow, I need to go look after our vessel. If you can take my 2 colleagues with you, they will be testing you on your knowledge of our visits. Would that be suitable?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, that pleases me very much to know that you are very devoted to us.
Of course we are. We are. You're our gods. Why would we? Why would you think we didn't? We didn't.
But see, we were testing how you respond to us. So my two colleagues will continue this with everyone else. Just treat them as if they know nothing at all.
And he just kind of nods and says, "Please, please, come with me."
And
Of course.
I'm going to head off to the shuttle.
All right. So the elder starts leading you through the town, and the state of the village becomes quite clear. Many villagers are trying to find a meal out of anything they can scavenge, trying to find their breakfast. And most of the and dangerously unhealthy. Many people display signs of injuries that have not quite healed properly. And many people show the signs of basically being pushed past their breaking point. However, as you pass all of them, they all seem to give you a smile as you walk past them. And you kind of get the sense that you might symbolize hope to these people and their otherwise dreary existence. The elder continues to lead you to a clearing that is just outside the village. And there you see many cargo containers similar to that used by many advanced species. And they seem to fill up an entire kilometer, kind of made in like a kilometer square. And they're all stacked about I should probably move that to 9 meters high. Yeah, they all, and they stand about 9 meters high and stretch for about a kilometer in a square. And as you guys reach the edge of it, he says, "Here is all that we can gather into 3 standard rotations since your last visit. I hope this is acceptable."
Ah, yes, you've done an exceptionally good job this time.
Now this wasn't all of what you asked for. You still came 2 standard rotations early, but this is all we can do for now.
May I take a look?
Of course. We've gathered only what you asked us to. We have the crystals and the hard rocks you asked us to pull out of the ground, and he kind of opens up like a little sliding thing to show you that there's like dilithium and duranium alloys in there. And he opens up another one, and we also gathered the plants you asked us to cultivate and grind into a fine powder. And it looks like if you were to grind plant leaves and put it into bins, that's what it looks like. And he looks up. "Does this not meet your approval?"
No, you've done exceptionally well, given the short amount of time we've given you. Does the cultivation of these things, does it reduce your ability to care for yourselves?
Well, we get everything from you when you come in and take what we have gathered. You give us everything we need to survive. You give us food. You give us materials. You sometimes give us technology.
I see. I noticed many members are injured and sick. Have we given you medicine in the past?
Unfortunately, we don't know how to heal our sick or our wounded. But we have our deadlines to meet, and there's no time to rest.
I see. Well, you've met this one in outstanding fashion, given that we reduced your time period.
That pleases us, because we are in desperate need. times have been especially hard these past cycles.
I am sorry to hear that. We do not wish to see you suffer.
But it will all be worth it. Every time you have come to take the goods we have gathered, you always provide us with what we need.
I see. Well, then I suppose moving forward, that's what we should do, yes?
We would be ever grateful to you, gods.
I think perhaps we should start with your sick and injured.
If you wish, I can have them gathered, but gods have never taken part in healing of our injured. They only come and take this and drop off what we need for the next cycle, for the next standard rotations.
I believe you'll find us to be a slightly different breed.
Yes. We seek to perhaps provide you with the means to meet those requirements on your own.
Oh, we will be ever grateful to you. And I think now is a good time to probably jump to Pend really quick in the shuttle.
I would like to evaluate what's happened and try to get the communications relay to start up.
Okay. So essentially what happened is the beam kind of fried your communication system. So basically what you're going to have to do to repair them is you're going to have to take parts from another system. So you just got to pick whatever system you want to be offline for the rest of the episode, and you could put them into comms.
Probably weapons.
Yeah, we probably be outgunned by whatever they have if they happen to arrive before we can get out anyway.
Precisely.
Cool. So yeah, so you think you found the replacement parts you need, and it'll just be Control Engineering difficulty 1.
Oh, thank God.
And the difficulty is just because you're taking parts used for weapons and trying to put it into the comm systems for the fried parts.
And could I use my focus of small craft?
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll allow it because, yeah.
Sweet.
All right, you guys bank of momentum. And the comm system buzzes back to life as soon as you replace the parts and shunt power to it.
Am I able to contact the Kismet?
I don't see why not.
Actually, no. What shuttle did we take?
That I did not ask.
Maybe the Neruda? So it's be a Type 8. Okay.
Cool.
This is the Neruda to Kismet. Do you read?
And so, Commander, you probably received the message while you are still in the.
He just left.
Oh, did he?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. We're just breaking Prime Directive. Just have a tea break.
Are you okay, Evan?
Oh yeah, I just sat down in a really squeaky chair.
Okay.
This is why I stand most of the time.
Actually, his tea sounds really nice right about now.
It really does.
And it's a little warm where I am for tea.
Me too.
Also,
Well,
iced tea.
I always ice it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's where we're a little different.
So as soon as the commander is back. But no, you guys are doing a phenomenal job role playing tonight. I am quite pleased.
I'm basically trying to get out of the way of Evans and the Doctor to try and let them do a bit more role playing, like sending them round town.
I knew I shouldn't have asked you about the internal affairs. Coach story.
Hey, I talked to him. I'm gonna talk to more people.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you've two people, tricorders, talking, pretending you're gods. What could possibly go wrong and bite us in the ass?
Nothing.
Yeah,
mean, they'd
except the
really-
arrival of
they'd-
who they're expecting.
Yeah, they'd really think I whipped out a skin grafter and shit. Just like magically immediately healed them.
Oh yeah, just dermal regenerator.
Yeah.
See, the problem is, you're doing that and looking after people. As soon as that shuttle door went up, Penn's just swearing as loud as he possibly can.
Oh, I think there's some internal swearing going on between Efrix and Evans at this point,
Yeah, just a little bit.
given that it's straight up slavery and these people are starving and dying and working themselves to death.
It's not looking
Yeah.
very good for our new friends, quote unquote.
Yeah, this is reminding me a little bit of. I feel like there's a TNG episode a lot closer to this than the one I'm thinking of. I will say my internal affairs story could have gone a little south when it came to Prime Directive, as that would have added to their mythos.
Because that couldn't have gone wrong in
Would-
any way, shape, or form.
We lost the commander.
That we did. He didn't say what he was gonna do, did he? No, just be right back.
That's why I was like, if we can just say that, treat us as if we're idiots or we're testing you and your knowledge of us.
Yeah. Because that's not gonna add anything to the mythos worth internal affairs.
I mean, that's all I could come up with, like, at no notice. Hey, at least we're not the first species to mess with this civilization, unlike Grenin and the Zarkonians.
Straight up murder.
At least we didn't land and kill a bunch of them.
Actually, that wasn't even the captain. That was our Arcasian science officer.
No, I'm always going to blame the captain because it's funnier. Commander, are you there?
I believe this is your scene.
Hello? Yeah, hello, Commander. Please speak to us. We are waiting patiently. Hey,
I
Varo.
believe it is now Penn's ship as the highest ranking.
Oh God, no.
Wait, he's a lieutenant, right?
Okay, I just got back.
Yeah, but everyone else is pretty much lieutenant junior grade.
I'm technically a lieutenant commander.
Oh, and then it's the doctor ship now.
I am the captain now.
Hey, I just got back.
All right.
I did not die. I can say that much.
Okay. So Penn has just fixed his communications aboard the shuttle, and is trying to contact the Kismet.
Neruda.
Commander, you are still in the meeting room with the species.
All right,
Neruda
and
to
the
Kismet.
communication comes through. Varro here. Actually, no. Wait, I don't do. Hold on. That comes to me from the bridge, I think, because it's the Kismet.
Doesn't have to make sense.
Commander, are you reading?
If you'll excuse me, Ambassador.
Very
One of
good,
my
Commander.
away teams requires
Very
my
good, Commander. I think this is an excellent time to take a break. Don't you agree?
Very good. And I
she
head
walks
to
over with her. And she walks over with her delegates.
I head to the captain's ready room, and Ensign, route that communication to the captain's ready room.
They make it so.
Good. Yes, Lieutenant Pend.
You might want to lock the doors because this isn't good news.
I mute the communication and Varo Sigma Delta 4, lockdown room, encrypt communication.
Hold on, I have a computer sound for this. Do you move my computer noises?
King Grennan.
Oh, there we go.
We need one for that too.
There we go.
Okay. And then I unmute and myself and stuff. Yes, Lieutenant, this is secure.
While we were scanning one of the planets in the system, we got knocked out of orbit by a energy beam. We crash landed, or not crash. I technically landed the shuttle in the middle of a town because it knocked the engines out.
Sorry, you broke up there. I got in the middle of a town.
Yeah, so we landed in the middle of a town because the engines got knocked out by an energy beam.
That's unfortunate, Lieutenant.
It gets worse.
Continue.
Apparently, this town thinks we're gods because the species we are currently dealing with in the negotiations every couple of years come down, takes resources off them, gives them food, and disappears. This is not a spacefaring civilization, but we are not the first civilization to see them, or to meet them.
So what you're saying is you're not violating the Prime Directive exactly, but you're very close to it.
Extremely close to it. But from what we can see of how everything's happening around town, it's unfortunately looking a lot like slavery down here, Commander.
Understood.
So
Extract yourself from the situation post-haste while collecting the information that you can and report back. If you need, I'll send another shuttle.
wouldn't be a good idea, according to what we've picked up from trying to get information from them. The energy beam which knocked our engines out does it to most shuttles or space vehicles and helps them land. So one of ours might just get knocked out of the sky again.
Understood.
So I've got the Doctor and Evans currently playing stupid with the locals to try and gain information. I'm trying to get the shuttle up and running. Then I'm considering taking a trip up to this energy beam to see what the hell's happening.
Do that, Lieutenant. Figure out a way to get off the planet. I'll interrogate our guests about the nature of this.
Again, I will state it seems a lot like slavery, but I don't want to throw that out there as a be-all and end-all.
Lieutenant, do you know yet who is doing this?
According to the Elder here, it's the species you're currently talking with.
That makes this troublesome and rather concerning. This information is most valuable, Lieutenant.
Once I get any more information, I'll report back up.
Very good.
End out.
Kismet out.
All right, so I think we'll stick with Penn. Is there anything else you're going to do in the shuttle?
So are the engines repairable, or are they just gone at this stage?
They are repairable.
Yeah, fantastic.
This will be Control Engineering Difficulty 2.
Or will it?
Well, considering I've got pushed the limits, would that put it down to difficulty 1?
I think that's for actually flying the thing.
Okay. And second
So
one is...
you have a thing where you can use your con instead of your engineering to repair engines.
I can.
Yeah.
So it's Control, Con, difficulty 2, dash roll 2. And can I use again my focus of small crafts?
Sure. And you guys do currently have 1 momentum, if it matters.
I would very much like to spend that 1 momentum.
Sounds good.
Oh, Jesus.
Good thing I
Nice
didn't
roll.
add any complications.
God damn.
An
Wow,
18, a 19, and a 1.
Yeah.
yeah, and he only needed a 16 for it.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's really just a case that whatever the beam did just kind of caused a minor overload to the power systems, and you're able to correct that and get the engines back online.
Okay, I'll keep everything powered off for now. I'll pick up some food rations, medical supplies, and I'll bring them out to the doctor and Evans.
Okay, so I think at this point we're going. And you guys tell me where you guys want to go, because you guys are each doing kind of different things. So wherever you guys want to start is where we can go.
I think I'm going to want to talk to the Elder a little bit more.
Okay, we'll go back to Evans and the Good Doctor.
Oh, he must have been rather surprised at how few of us there were this time.
Oh, I do not question the wisdoms of the gods.
Would you like to show me where we usually land our ships?
Normally they just land right on top of this, and when when the gods take off again, everything's gone, and all that's left is our materials.
I see. So we don't typically touch down. Thank you. Your information has been most helpful.
Anything I can do to serve.
So, Efrix, you sound like you had intended to care for these people however you could.
Yeah. Have they gathered at this point?
Yeah, we could probably bring it back into the town square.
Okay. Yes, if you could instruct the injured and sick to come see me, that would be most helpful.
It will be done. And he starts motioning to all the townspeople, and basically from almost every building comes the sick, the injured, people being kind of carried to the town square. and before you know it, there's probably a mass of about 150 people in this
Oh
town
my
square.
god.
And as you kind of look further back into the city, you can kind of make out even more coming.
Okay. I want to do like a general scan to see if like anything, like as far as like a disease is present, one that is like affecting multiple people.
So they're not diseased, you know,
Okay.
like
But like I want to see like if there's any like because
yeah, most of the people are pretty much like malnourished. Some
Okay.
people have like improperly healed broken bones.
Okay.
Some stress fractures in their legs from being overworked. Most, like I said, most people are just malnourished from lack of proper nutrition. Things like that.
I want the most injured first. If you please, Tyler. Those that have been sick for the longest. Or the most severe.
And they just kind of look at you like not really knowing what you mean by that. And it's not so much as they don't understand, it's that they've been like this for as long as they can remember.
Okay. But okay. More specifically, I want those members whose injuries make it impossible for them to work or really walk or function as a part of the society.
And the townsfolk start moving, and they probably carry in about 50 members of the town.
Well, that's a little easier to deal with.
Yeah, each of them again look malnourished, and it even looks like they have probably been not so much left for dead, but they stopped giving them food and resources.
Yeah.
To save the whole of the community.
So were they like slaves or something?
Oh yeah, you were gone for that.
Kind of. More or less. It's not strictly slavery as we know it, but
I don't want to make
not slaves.
I don't want to make light of this, but think A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
And they're the ants.
Oh.
And the people we're negotiating with are the grasshoppers.
Oh.
That's a pretty good analogy there, Evans.
Yep.
Sure, he can do that, but he
I
can't talk
remember
to an
this old
NPC.
Earth. I remember this old Earth film.
They're like the sweatshop workers for the aliens we're talking to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bummer.
This is gonna be hard to do without like giving them access to medical care that they shouldn't have access to. Are there any with like currently broken limbs? Like not mishealed limbs, but like actual broken limbs?
Probably a few, like of varying days, and maybe one might be a month and it still looks badly out of shape that started to heal that way.
Okay.
There's a few that might have been broken in the last couple of days.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Kaller and ask, are there any that sometimes care for those that are injured? Any that particularly seem interested in doing so?
There's a few, but we all work together the resources, because without gathering all the resources, we don't get what we need from the gods.
I'm aware, but if there's anyone that's interested in learning how to make you more productive, I would like to show them some things.
surely we could find somebody, and there are a couple volunteers,
Okay,
maybe 5.
I'm gonna walk up to one that has a recently broken bone. Say, hello, what's your name?
And they just kind of look like in pain, and they don't really know what to say because to them they're meeting a god.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna be as gentle as I can. What bone is broken on this person?
Probably the leg right around the knee.
Okay. Okay. Oh, jeez. That's such a tricky place to set.
Can't make it easy on you, Doc.
Above the knee or below the knee?
I would say
Like,
right
is it
at, I would say probably at the knee.
Well, there's...
So there's obviously more damage than just.
Yeah, that's not really a broken bone, then that's bad cartilage.
But we could say it starts at the knee and probably goes down to the shin,
Okay.
if that helps.
So the actual break is probably at the shin and it's sticking out. So that's... Okay.
Right. And then probably still has like torn ACLs, MCLs.
Yeah, where it's come disconnected from the knee because it was broken. Got it. Okay. And none of these people seem to have splints or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Well, I wanted to get a baseline for how they treat their ill.
I think the baseline you're getting is they don't really.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything about indicate between his knee and his, like, just above his knee and his ankle to the person that's helping me? Something flat, like a piece of wood or a board,
A chair leg.
yeah, a chair leg, anything like that.
So they kind of like some of the townsfolk kind of gather some like building materials, like 2x4 type stuff.
So when you have a broken bone like this person does, it's never going to heal right. It's never going to be able to be used in the proper manner if you don't get it back in the right position. Does that make sense?
And then they just kind of all nod.
Okay. So in order to do that, oh gosh, I really want to give them something for pain. I'm trying to do this without giving them anything that they shouldn't have. Do you have, do you ever have things that ease your pain?
And then they all just kind of shake their heads no, and they kind of look down.
I kind of figured. Anything that makes you drunk? Anything that makes you not all there? She taps her head.
And they look at you puzzlingly.
Puzzled?
Yeah, puzzled.
Yeah.
Puzzingly.
Hey, my grasp of the English language sucks.
We can move on to that. Somebody, I need someone to hold his shoulders down for me right here.
And one of them does it.
And I'm gonna need, is there anything like cloth or anything near me that I could have him bite down on?
Well, they all have clothing they're wearing.
I know, but I don't want to take their clothes. That's like their only form of protection.
But that might be that might be your only option.
Has Penn shown back up with the supplies yet?
He's probably moseying on through. I mean, you guys are in the square, so.
Yeah.
I mean, you could hit your communicator and ask.
Yeah, it's true. I'll do that.
Ooh,
Efforts append.
I get to do this.
Yeah, penned here. How can I help, Doctor?
They have a lot of injured. Like, a lot.
Well, luckily for you, I'm coming with some medical supplies and food.
That's amazing. You're the best. Thank you.
We're there as soon as I can.
Right. Okay, so the demonstration will have to stop for just a minute.
All right, I think we're gonna jump back to the ship really quick.
Okay. So, after I end my call with Pend, I kind of sit back and share for a second. And go. Somehow I knew it was too good to be true. Computer, disengage. Security protocol. RO Sigma Delta 4. Commander Varro to Lieutenant Nave.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Please report to my ready room.
I do.
All right, we'll
And
jump
Varro
to him entering,
Counselor Wella, please report to my ready room.
and that'll be her entering.
Alright, people. We've recently got some disturbing information. It seems that our new friends are not too friendly. Lieutenant Pend, Dr. Efrix, and Lieutenant Evans have found themselves stranded on a planet where the Stranis seem to be subjugating a pre-warp civilization, extracting resources from them. This obviously puts a damper on all diplomatic efforts. And our course of action is somewhat uncertain. Thoughts?
Is there any way we could negotiate them to stop culling the indigenous life forms of that planet?
It's a possibility. I
Maybe we
fear
could work out a trade with them. We could trade with them and then ask them to release them or from their
I believe what we're seeing right now is the effects of civilization that does not have technology to properly support itself. They've said they want to trade for energy extraction, essentially. I suspect their civilization grew too quickly, too large, and has been forced to make ideological sacrifices in order to maintain standard of living.
we can make a treaty with them to outlaw this certain culling and taking advantage of indigenous life forms that are not at the technological level of their own.
It's certainly something to bring up in the discussion, Lieutenant. And we will not be simply sending them on their way. However, this is contact with the Astronis. And Federation law dictates that we're not to interfere too strongly with their civilization. We're not talking about the Prime Directive here, obviously, but general orders still dictate that this is their culture, however much we might object to it. Consider this a forewarning. Our next meeting will not be nearly as smooth as our last one. If you have any further thoughts, you can each come to me privately. Dismissed.
All right. Anything else you want to do on the ship, Commander?
I think I'll say calling on the ambassador until the next scene in Kismet.
Okay. We'll jump back to the planet with the doctor still trying to teach. And Penn will have just gotten to your side as well.
Right. Awesome.
So, what's he bringing with him?
I've got medical supplies and food rations.
Awesome.
How-
Okay.
How much?
What we had on the shuttle.
Probably not enough.
No.
Well,
Doc
certainly not.
Evans, can I have a quick word to one side?
Of course.
Yes, you may.
I will be right back.
So,
Get up.
here are supplies. There's not a lot of it, but do what you can. What have you managed to find out here?
It's worse than I first thought. They work them into the ground to produce this stuff. And we're expected to leave all that they need when we leave. Food, shelter, sometimes technology, but they've never taught them how to take care of themselves.
Well, luckily I've fixed the engines and the communications. I've been in contact with the commander. For now,
And there's more. The stuff that they're harvesting, the stuff that they collected for them. Dilithium.
just dilithium.
Amongst other things. Some kind of herb. And a
So-
lot of it.
Oh,
They say it's supposed to be 5 years, 5 cycles before, 5 rotations before she uses finger quotes, we were supposed to come back, but they've already got like a kilometer wide space full of crates.
so it's... I don't know how to actually phrase this. It's not slavery, but it's cutting an extremely fine line.
It's at least extortion, yes.
Of a pre-war
Exploitation.
civilization.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
That's a way of saying it. Not only that, but they have no knowledge of medicine at all. They've just been, from what I can tell, they've just been letting those that can't work die. But they don't know how to fix anything. They don't know how to clean cuts. They don't know how to set bones.
Okay. So, for now, I want you two to try and help with injured, hand out a bit of food, try and get some more information of the locals. I'm going to try and
I
take
feel like if we give out what little food we have, we're going to start a riot. I don't think we have that much food.
I'll leave that decision up to you, Doc. You can decide what happens with the...
Don't get me wrong, I want to give them food, but
Like I said, I'll leave that up to you. You can decide Yeah, you're there, Evans.
Yeah, you're
all
there.
three
Evans.
of us. I mean, if you want to speak, Evans, please speak.
I thought this was a two-person huddle.
No.
So what we could do, instead of handing out the food to the crowd, is find out if they have any place where they stockpile the food and then distribute it, and then add these rations to the stockpile.
Wait, do we have replicators on the shuttle?
Shuttles come standard with one replicator. The Class 8 has one.
Ooh.
So
I don't know whether it's powered right now, and it
And also
doesn't
it's-
have a limit, but
Yeah, because it has to get the matter from somewhere.
yeah.
it has to get the energy from somewhere. And if your
Well, it's
main
right.
power's
It's
offline, then
No, I fixed the engines. So
But the replicator is definitely not big enough to do what you're planning.
yeah.
No.
right. What I'm saying is you
You
could
could
replicate more rations probably, because those would take they wouldn't take as huge amounts of energy as replicating other things. You could probably, at least triple, maybe quadruple the amount of rations you have,
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
thinking it might be,
or
might be-
medical supplies.
yeah,
Maybe
medical
do those
supplies
two.
might be more. I don't know. They're all malnourished.
I think, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do much with food. Evans, Doc, if you want to try and replicate some more medical supplies, see what you can do with the villagers. I'm going to head up to the energy source and see what the hell's happening up there.
I don't think you should go on your own.
I'd rather have Evans here with you.
And
That seems
so just
like
so
a
you're
really
and
dumb idea.
just so you're aware, the energy is rather far away in the northern hemisphere on top of a mountain.
Oh, we're in the southern hemisphere, aren't we?
You sure are, and you're at like the southern tip of a continent on it. So it's basically a couple year walk. So unless you plan on
It's a
flying the ship.
long distance walking.
All right, get going, Pat.
Yeah, I was going to take the shuttle after they replicated some more medical supplies.
Maybe we should wait till this evening and then all go.
It may be best for us to all go together because they may have some sort of security measures to make sure no one gets in. Safe for them.
Fair enough.
And if we're lucky, they still use eyesight to detect things that low. I mean, they're not going to be worried about sensors to detect villagers walking towards it, right?
Apparently the villagers have never been up there at any stage.
I know. But if the villagers have never seen ships before, there's a good chance, other than their ships, there's a good chance any ships that they've shot down in the past have been destroyed. So they may not be looking for a ship in atmosphere.
Possible, but let's see
You
what we
make
can
good
do.
sense.
She does. Let's see what we can do with the medical supplies first. We'll take it from there afterwards.
Agreed.
All right, and
I'm gonna take the medical supplies and go back to teaching.
I've been asked to go make more.
Bandages, lots and lots of bandages.
All right, bandages, you got that, and you need anything else? Disinfectant of any kind.
I want to try. Yeah. How much of this planet did we scan before we were hit out of the sky?
So you guys just entered orbit when
Okay.
the beam hit.
Oh, that's
so
right.
you actually never
So-
scanned the planet.
Okay, so we don't.
What I could do is, after I'm done with making more medical supplies, if I'm not needed for anything else, I could. Well, I suppose I could help with all the injured people. But at some point, I could go scanning the local plant life, see if there's anything that can be used as
Yeah.
painkiller, disinfectant, any other medical uses.
I think we've
Yes,
already
because-
got that available.
No, I want to give them something that they can use in the future. I'm trying to teach them things that they can use moving forward.
Yeah, technically, haven't they got crates of the plant substance already ground
Yes.
up into a powder?
But they'll never use that.
What if their god's given permission?
I don't know if they'll believe us. We can try it.
If you want, I can go have a chat with Calder. See what I can try and get out of that. Sounds like a plan. You deal with the injured Evans on more bandages, and I'm gonna have a chat with Calder about the powder.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
All right, and I think we'll head back up to the ship.
All right. So, after two of them leave the ready room, I head back to the conference room, and the ambassador and his people are gone. And I would like to call down to the diplomatic suite.
Well, they're actually probably still in the room because you weren't gone that long, and it was just like a little bit of a break.
Ah. Okay.
So they're definitely still in there.
Okay. Then we get back to the room.
Okay.
Say, Ambassador.
Commander, we're eager to get back with our negotiations.
I'm afraid those negotiations may have to be put on hold. I've had a communication from one of my survey teams that I find disturbing.
Is everything all right with them, Commander?
They'll be fine. However, what they found gives me concern. They have found a pre-warp species who is being used for manual labor, extracting resources from their planet for some otherworldly gods described very much like yourselves.
We know of this species, Commander. We call them the Bundin. Unfortunately, when we met them, we could not stop all of their silly superstitions.
The state that they are in right now seems very much like slavery, Ambassador, and the Federation does not trade with slavers.
I don't think this is slavery, Commander. We are helping them to join the universe at large. They would still be swinging from trees if it weren't for us.
Another thing, the Federation, is we don't believe in interfering with cultures and species that are not our own. And while this also forbids us from being in your culture, it does make any negotiations we might have more difficult. Now, I must consult with Command on this, but it is possible we can still come to this practice can be
Abolished.
left behind in its due course, and the damages mediated.
Commander, the resources they gather, the plants they cultivate, will ensure thousands upon millions of people do not have to suffer from illness and disease. That plant creates a liquid that is 100 times more potent than your own medicines. One drop will replace hundreds of milliliters of injections. And all we ask in return is for power conversion technology. Surely this is a small price to pay for the advantages both of our peoples will receive.
The advantages built on the back of suffering are not advantages the Federation is willing to accept, Ambassador. And from my reports, these people are suffering.
And you can't tell me that all of your allies do not keep, how do you say, indentured servants? You merely have to look at the Klingons or the Romulans. They have similar races like these in their empires, yet you still trade with them.
The Romulans and Klingons are allies of circumstance and of war. We do not agree with them, however, we have no ability to... We have no ability to influence their course of action. Your
If I
situation
may
seems
inter-
possible to resolve, if it is, as I suspect, from a lack of the technology to properly do these things yourself.
If I may
What?
interject, I did a computer analysis, and if you provide them replicators, it would increase dilithium production by 70%.
Replicators are powered by dilithium.
Yes, but if you provided them the people that are harvesting the dilithium replicators for food, it would boost productions by 70%.
Lieutenant Nave, that is not the issue at hand. I don't care how efficient their exploitation is. It's still exploitation.
Commander, we have given them food, we have given them medicines, we have given them technology, we have helped them understand how the universe works. But surely something like this is going to take time to bring them up to the level technologically that our two species enjoy. A mere
And they should
100
arrive at that level in their own time and on their own path.
They have come a long
knows
way
what you've
in a
stunted?
mere 100 years, Commander.
Possibly. But who knows what you've stunted with your intervention? They could have had an entirely different chain of events.
And you're under the false pretense that you are gods, deities.
We did not start the rumor that we were gods. We could not stop all of their superstitions. And whatever keeps them working, the better it is for everyone.
As I said, Ambassador, I will have to consult with Command.
But Commander, do know that we need this power conversion technology. There simply aren't enough of us to mine this ourselves.
I feared you'd say as much.
We have a very long there just aren't enough of us.
Believe me, Ambassador, I understand that people may be pushed to extremes, and I would like to see if the Federation can help solve this issue. However, the first step in that might be to acknowledge that there is an issue. This species, you give them things, knowledge, food, and they are like children. You've created a dependency, not growth. So it would be far more beneficial to try and treat them like children who need to learn than like workers to be exploited. Perhaps not now, but in the long run.
Oh, I had something for this. Damn it! What was it? Commander, you misinterpret what they mean to us. Our society would crumble without the work they do. We would like nothing better than to bring them into our embraces. But we just don't have the resources. We barely have enough to sustain ourselves.
Well, you could
It seems to
provide
be
them
the story of history.
with a
in my
better labor
experience.
environment.
What was that? You kind of both talked at the same time.
So you could provide them with a better labor environment. Means of production.
Unfortunately, that is not the best use of our resources.
So you're willing to trade with us, why aren't you willing to trade with them?
We do trade with them. We give them food. We give them technologies. They would still be in the trees if we had not come along. They have come a long way in the 100 years that we have known them.
Lieutenant Nave. I may speak with you for a moment.
Sure. I mean, yes, sir.
And kind of go off to the side. Lieutenant, it's not our job to fix this. And I understand that's what you want to do. I'd like to as well, but there's a difference between advising them and possibly trading with them from proposing the kind of judgments you are.
I'm just trying to come to a diplomatic resolution.
I understand that, Lieutenant. However, I'm not sure what exactly it benefits in this instance. The Federation will not be trading with them if they have this kind of exploitation without a means of ending it. Just keep your, as the humans say, head in the game. Understood?
Sure.
And I return to the conversation.
He returns to the conversation and drops.
Of course.
Discord just dropped me.
Yeah, I just said you return to the conversation and you drop.
I got kicked from the call.
The commander
Okay.
drops unconscious. Oh god.
Oh no. Okay. So I return to the conversation. And I say, Ambassador, I'm sorry I must take my leave of you once more briefly. I'll return
Gives a solemn nod to you.
and I return to the ready room. I'm a pinball right now. Just boom, 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 boom.
All right, I think we'll head back to the planet. You know what? No, we'll stick with the commander. I think there's something I want/need him to do first.
Okay.
So we'll
And-
bring you to the ready room.
I am routing a call to Admiral Hebert.
This is Admiral Hebert. Go ahead, Commander.
Hello, Admiral. I'm afraid we've reached a bit of a snag in negotiations with the Astronus.
Oh, is Captain Grennan having problems?
I'm afraid Captain Grennan is indisposed. I've been conducting negotiations on his behalf. I had hoped to allow him time to recover. He's not taken the deaths of the insectoid aliens well.
That's troubling. I still expect my captains to be able to handle tense situations like that.
Indeed. He is a young officer, Admiral. And while he shows promise, he has not reached his full potential yet.
Then he was wise to have a commander such as you at his side.
I'd like to think so, Admiral.
So go on,
However,
Commander. What is your report?
one of my scouting teams has found an M-class moon where the indigenous people are being used as manual labor by the Astronus to harvest dilithium and the plant from which they make their medical supplies. This is a pre-warp civilization that they apparently have been trying to uplift, so to speak. However, their methods of doing this seem to be more in terms of extracting resources than developing them as a culture of their own.
I see.
It's troubling to say the least, Admiral. They claim it's because they don't have the resources to conduct this themselves, that they don't have enough citizens. I'd like to believe them in this instance. However, it does seem like a rationalization of imperialism. Needless to say, our first impression of the Astronus may have been somewhat off.
Well, Commander, we have Starfleet has entrusted the Kismet with this mission solely for your expertise. Whatever your recommendation is, Commander, I'm sure Starfleet will stick with it.
Thank you, Admiral. I appreciate the trust in the Kismet and her crew.
You'll give Captain Grennan my regards.
I will. And, Admiral, I'd like to suggest that we continue with negotiations. I do think many of their issues come from a lack of resource production ability, which our technology could help solve.
Well, Commander, we give you full... words are escaping me today.
Me too, that's why I talk slowly.
I know. We give you full reign to decide the best course of action in this matter. If you feel a treaty can be negotiated and signed, very well, you do that. If you feel that one cannot, we will stick to that as well. If you feel we need to bring in a more specialized team, we will take that under advisement as well, Commander. We trust in your decisions and abilities.
Thank you, Admiral.
Was there anything else, Commander?
No, sir.
Very good. Keep me informed. Admiral Hebert out.
Cool. And Varro just sits back in his chair and kind of does a Picard facepalm, essentially.
I just saw your character sit back and go, cool, in my head.
I think the word that Varho would use would be perfect.
I think he's definitely wishing he had crafted Greta to make these.
We get into diplomacy episode and Grennan's not here. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when they let me know the night I'm making the mission.
Right? This is why you have to give notice, people. Okay. So, I head back to the conference room.
Cool. Let me see. Where do I want to head now? I think we can head to the planet. I think I've been ignoring them enough.
Just keep ignoring.
Probably best off if the doctor goes first.
Okay. So yeah, now that I have bandages and other things to help them with, I'm gonna take a roll of bandages, hand it to the guy that I'm helping, say, put this between your teeth, and bite down hard, okay?
And he does it and just kind of nods.
It's gonna hurt, but it's gonna feel better in the long run, I promise. And then I'm gonna show them how to take, like, the chair leg or whatever it is, put it along where the bone is broken, and then press until the bone is where it's supposed to be.
Right, are you going to do it, or are you going to show them, or are you going to have them do it?
This is the first time they're seeing it, so I'm gonna do it the first time so they can watch.
Okay. This will be Control Medicine difficulty 1.
Okay. Do 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 do. Does xenobiology apply?
No, because this is just setting bones.
Regenerative medicine?
Do you have
no.
triage or emergency medicine?
No, I didn't take those.
Yeah, those would probably be your best bet.
Yeah. Okay.
Or even,
I was just
even survival.
I was just testing it out. You said difficulty 1?
Yes.
Wait, you've got emergency medicine.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. I lied. Sorry. I can't read my own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you can use the focus as yes.
Woo! Okay.
This is why commanding officers have access to other people's sheets.
Yay!
Yep, that's why we did it.
Yep.
Okay.
One more dice.
Wait, why didn't it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
It's a little weird selecting.
You gotta
Yeah,
make sure
sometimes you have
task
to
roll
double-click.
selected to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just roll.
Well, Jesus.
I was gonna say roll test roll one more time, but I'll take the first one and then your first 0, so you'll have 2 successes.
Okay.
So that's
So it'll take you a momentum, and
Woo! That's what I was trying to do.
and as you start your procedure, you definitely hear the muffled screams from the patient as he's trying to bite down on the bandage you put in his mouth. But you eventually hear that snap back into place.
And then I hurriedly take
Ugh.
bandages and make sure that the splint stays where it's supposed to be.
And all the townsfolk just kind of look away and cringe at the sound of it.
They're supposed to be learning.
Hey,
They were
We all
watching intently until that.
yeah.
up until the
And then
crack.
you have, and then I continue talking at first to him, like calmingly, and then you just wrap it tight, make sure that it stays in place leave space for the edge of it to come out on either side. You'll have to probably change the bandages, otherwise they get pretty nasty. But that should help his leg heal so that when it's done healing, he can walk just as well as he could before. Does that make sense?
And they all just nod.
I'm gonna kind of help him calm down if I can before moving on to the next patient.
Okay. It takes a good 10 minutes for him to actually calm down from what just happened. It's pretty traumatic.
I actually want. We should have probably had Pinned talking to the elder first, because he was going to convince them to use the herbs.
I think this was a good place to come back in.
Yeah. Is there? I feel like if I start using meds on them, there's no way I can do it stealthily.
Just a little hypospray to the knee, under the cover
Yeah.
of your other arm.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Although, shit, I'm a god.
That is not something you should say as a Starfleet officer. Well, shit, I'm a
Just
god.
out of context.
Out of
Oh
context.
shit, I'm a god.
That was not her voice.
Yes.
That's why I do a voice.
Why I do a manner of
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll move on to the next patient. Are there any children here, or is it all like adults and elderly?
There's children, but they don't seem as malnourished.
Okay,
But,
good.
But they still have malnourishment issues.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But
And, you know, a few of them probably have some scrapes and bruises from, you know, they clearly work as well.
okay, I just was wondering how early they start really working them.
Can I just quickly hit my communicator, Doctor?
Efrix.
I will take full responsibility for this, but if you feel it is needed to use the hyperspray, I will take full responsibility.
That's
I will remind
appreciated.
you outrank him, Doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think you actually can.
What, are you Lieutenant Commander?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. I think last time this happened, I somehow got put in command.
Also, last time I think you were the ranking officer.
No,
Weren't
we had
you?
a Lieutenant Commander there, and I still somehow got put in command.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Your bridge.
That's because
rich
the
staff.
that's because the captain put the wrong guy on the away team.
Yeah.
I actually wanted you with 2 NPCs, and he put a player character with you.
Well, ignore that entire conversation then.
It
But-
never happened.
That being said, to these people, I'm a god, and damn the consequences, I'm going to help them. So yeah, I am going to administer a small amount of something to help with the pain that I'm assuming I know won't react badly with him because I've already scanned them for
Okay.
biology. So
Yeah. The normal hypo spray, whatever the heck they put in it, should work fine.
okay, probably a lesser extent because they don't have the buildup that most people do.
Okay.
Should ease it, and then move on to the next person. Again, I'm gonna show them
All right.
Because
So
because
hold on.
if they can't stand the sound yet, I don't want them doing the procedure.
Right. So I got something for the hypo spray. Hopefully you heard that.
Shut up, Commander. Shh.
Quiet, hypo spray. Quiet.
No, I was talking to Varro. He's making fun of me in general chat.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you hypo sprayed them. Hopefully you all were able to hear the hypo spray. If not, I will play it again.
I heard it.
All right, cool. Yeah, on to the next.
What's this person's status? Besides malnourished, I know they're all
This one probably has a broken arm.
okay.
We'll call it a broken arm.
Okay.
About 2 weeks have gone by, you estimate, from looking at it.
Oh, that's gonna. Yikes. Okay. What part of the arm?
We'll call it the forearm.
Inner or outer?
You're good. The outer one.
Okay, because it's different bones.
Is it tibular and fibula?
No, that's leg.
Oh yeah, still sorry.
Ulna and radius.
Yep. It's been a while since I did physiotherapy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just get my doctor friend on here to give me all the doctor lingo.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna show them how, like, on the people that are learning, I'm gonna show them how their bones look, have them feel where theirs are connected and how straight or, yeah, how straight and connected and even it is, and then show them like where it connects to the elbow, where it changes at the wrist, and then show them where on his arm it's different.
Okay. You know what? Roll me presence medicine.
Okay.
Difficulty, we'll say 2.
Probably not emergency medicine on this one since I'm teaching.
Correct.
Okay. What about? Probably not. Okay. Wish me luck, guys.
Good luck. You could use counseling in this one? Probably not, but
That's what I was gonna ask, but probably not.
No.
yeah.
It's not
I
that
think
kind of counseling.
It's always worth trying though.
If
Yeah.
it was like mentor or something, I could
Mm.
stretch that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the captain has a focus like that.
she
Oh,
did it
did it.
anyway. So so as you're explaining this, they definitely, you get to feel that they are grasping this concept.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. And then, like, so it's gonna make a noise again. All right. I'm going to give this person the hypo before, because I'm not a monster.
Okay.
Howard.
I'm still gonna give him something to bite down on because the pressure itself is gonna be uncomfortable. And then I'm gonna try and do the same thing I did before. So control medicine.
Cool.
What's the-
Yeah, we'll make it difficulty. We'll make it difficulty 1.
Okay.
I mean, you are an experienced medical practitioner. This is not too difficult. The
Yeah.
difficulty mostly comes from the resources you have.
Yeah. And trying to show them in a way that they can replicate it. Because I could just get medical equipment that we have and fix it and it would be not a problem. But I want to show them things that they can repeat to the best of my ability. So that they can actually start treating their sick. Because even if those jerks did give them supplies, they didn't teach them how to use it. Okay, sorry. So difficulty 1, emergency medicine applies.
Yes.
So I'm gonna count down for him. I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna count down from 3. and then I'm gonna go on 2. So 3, 2. Shit.
And you kind of stretch too far the other way and
Shit.
kind of break the others. Like it's kind of bent the opposite way of what it was now.
Is it possible for her to
Damn.
spend a determination?
I have cautious.
But you
I didn't spend
Uh,
the momentum. Fuck.
does it say, do you have a relevant value?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, you totally do.
Yeah, I have
I think
a
you
bunch.
should use it.
Yeah,
So you could
use my
probably,
value.
yeah, you could probably use it to re-roll.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It takes momentum then, though?
No,
No.
so you spend your determination,
Yeah.
and you can re-roll.
But only one, right?
No,
Uh,
both.
Both?
No, you
Okay.
re-roll both.
All right, I'm gonna do do all the good you can by all the means you can, as ever long as you can.
hmm
Shit.
What?
Well,
you got it.
You needed one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know.
Still, it's like that's such a good stat. Yeah.
However, you bending the arm that way actually sets the bone in place properly, despite it being 2 weeks healed already.
That was 3 16s that you rolled.
Ooh,
They were all the same value?
Yep.
Oh my word.
Jesus.
This might be a bad time to tell you guys, but like, generally dice don't like me. And at least at first, it seemed to have tricked it into thinking that ones were still bad. But I think it figured me out.
Oh no! It's caught on. Everyone has some amount of dice luck.
Okay, so it did it. Yay.
Yay.
All right. Is there anything else that people want to do on the planet? The doctor's doing her thing.
Evans, what
Evans
were
are
you doing?
penned.
Well, if I'm not needed here, I'd be searching the local plant life to see what can be used medicinally.
It's botany.
Yeah,
Right,
I got my botany
most
skills.
of the immediate plant life are just like trees, like deciduous trees and whatnot. So they're not really used for anything. However, on the other side of the encampment is the fields where they cultivate and grow the plant that is in the containers.
Ooh, yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
All right. What are you doing when you get there?
Well, do we have information on what exactly these plants do?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna find out what these plants can be used for.
Oh, okay. Roll me. Let me look at your character sheet really quick. It's probably going to be reason and either science or medicine. We'll make this a difficulty 4.
Oh my!
Would you like to
We
spend
don't.
a momentum?
How much momentum do we have?
1.
Okay. I have a roughly 50% chance with each dice. Yeah, so I'll buy that dice if no one objects.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Have you got a focus?
Okay, so I do. I have botany.
Oh, thank God.
No.
No.
Oh.
Do you have cautious?
Cautious botany.
Please.
Cautious
As a matter of
science.
fact, I do not.
Nope.
Aw.
I do, however, have it wouldn't help me succeed, but I do have untapped potential, so I can try to get us some momentum. Oh no, that's if
you get
that's
a
if I'm
success,
successful.
and you are not successful.
We're not successful.
Yeah, I was about a quarter of the way there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lieutenant Evans, when you scan the field, you at the very least know it's not edible. You can't use it for food. You can't eat the plant. But you can't really make out what exactly it's used for or why someone would want vast quantities of it. And why so much care and upkeep would be on a single individual plant that seemingly has no purpose.
And I know it can't be used recreationally.
I mean, they did say that they don't have anything that makes them drunk. So
Well, they haven't investigated this, maybe.
God damn it, Evans.
Yeah, you don't know.
back to Evans, he's smoking the plant.
He's just watching him.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm real hungry, guys.
Okay, so so that's what you find out, Evans. Pend, what are you doing?
I was gonna have a chat with Calder about the crates and possibly about the powdered medicine.
Okay. Feel free to roleplay.
Calder, do you have a minute?
But by all means.
I'd like to ask you about the crates you've prepared for us, if that's okay.
We don't know much about what you use them for.
Clearly I can see dilithium and Dranium. Yeah.
And he just has a puzzled look on his face when you start saying those words, like he's never heard them before.
But this powder, you say we use it for medicine, correct?
We don't know what you use it for. We just know that you want it in large quantities.
And you've never tried to figure out what we would use it for?
You told us not to. We would never disobey our gods.
And how long have we been your gods?
Longer than I've been alive. I've more than 70 standard rotations.
So at least 70 years. And when we drop off supplies, what exactly do we leave for you?
Food. You leave us food. Sometimes you give us technology that we need.
Have we never given you medicine?
And he just he looks like he doesn't know the word.
Have we ever left you a substance that helps you recover from injuries or illness?
And he just shakes his head.
Have we ever taught you how to or apart from the other being that came with me, have we ever shown you how to fix your own injuries?
And he just shakes his head no.
So all we basically do is come down, collect what you've prepared, leave you food, sometimes technology, and that's all.
And you give us everything we need to build our village.
Have we given you the technology or the resources to produce food?
We don't have we don't have time. We only have time to dig the rocks out of the ground and cultivate the plants you want us to. Everything else you provide.
Do you know how to spell?
And he, again, puzzled look, doesn't know what you're talking about.
Do you have any form of written language? Like how we are speaking now is how we speak. Do you have any way of putting that on paper or any written substance?
The verbal form is all we know.
So
We had no use of any other form of speaking.
So in all the years we have picked up and dropped off food for you, we have never once gave you the means to learn, to look after yourself, apart from giving you food and technology to mine.
But you have been most gracious to us.
How so?
Just look at all we have. This is because of you.
Have you ever wondered what life would have been if we didn't come to visit?
It would be far worse than what we have now.
That's one way to look at it. But it was... This has been an enlightening conversation. Thank you, Calder.
Right, and I think this is a good opportunity to head back to the Kismet.
So how much do the people on the Kismet know about whatever is going on?
They pretty much know what's
I've been
going
in contact with Pend.
Okay.
You are currently barricaded in your quarters.
Yes, I am.
You are distraught over the fate of the insectoid race.
Mm-hmm.
It was heartbreaking.
I mean, you can change that, but
So yeah, Commander.
Dealing with like Goa'uld. We're in discussions with like Goa'uld, like aliens.
sorry. Where was I again?
You were still in the ready room just after talking with the Admiral.
All right. Oof.
Oh, what did you find out from the Admiral?
She trusts us to make the right decision,
On whatever
essentially.
it is. Okay.
Right. So we have permission to establish trade, to not, to send a different delegation. Those are kind of main options. They're exploiting this pre-warp civilization and not great.
So
but
it
it
has,
seems to be because they don't have the technology to extract enough energy from dilithium, which they use as their main power source. Or at least that's a possibility.
They're under the impression that they are gods or deities and having them call for dilithium.
So, I assume you've been forwarding just generally this information to the captain.
Yeah, I was just telling the captain that.
I have forwarded. Actually, have I? No, I've been busy.
yeah. So
I've been juggling things.
The way I figure the captain has been pretty much cut off from all of this. So unless you guys wanted to role play something.
I
Yeah,
just hit him on comms and told him that about them being,
Well, the captain
under
has
the
been
false pretense of them being
So
deities. And
the point I'm trying to make is that to set up this mission for the captain's late arrival, he's been a shut-in and has not taken visitors or even communications. So
right.
Well, I just did it now.
we would have to role play it.
No, I have essentially cut off my communications.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to. I'm in the ready room right now. I stand up and I slam a fist down into the table and I say, not what I'm cut out for. And I'm heading down to the captain's quarters.
Yes, slap some sense into the captain. I love it.
Yep. And I get to the quarters and I buzz the door.
After a few seconds, you hear just sort of a mumbling response. Who is it?
Commander Varro.
After another 5-6 seconds pass.
I open the door.
Oh, I was gonna say fine.
No, after 2 seconds pass after I say something, I just use my command overrides.
Great.
Captain.
This can't knock, can you? And the captain is just rubbing his temples, sitting in his chair. He has some brown liquid in a mug.
I come over to him.
You know I didn't want to be disturbed, Varro, right?
I do, sir.
Brandy.
However,
In a mug?
as your XO, part of my responsibility is to ensure that you act properly as captain, not that you simply get what you
Right,
wish.
so you can drink brandy in a mug.
Hang on, let us...
Sorry.
What was it, Varro? I didn't quite catch that.
Part of my duties as XO are to keep you acting properly as a captain, sir, not just to do what you require or what you wish.
I know. I know. And the captain stands up and he looks out the window. I don't know if I'm cut out for this.
Varro stays silent for a couple seconds.
And
Sir,
I'm not blind. I gather that you question my competency as in the center chair sometimes too. I don't take it personally. But what happened with those people, that shook me.
Captain, with all due respect, you don't know my mind. I believe you have potential to be a great captain. You have all the makings of a fine Starfleet officer and a good leader. It's my job to make sure you get to that point in time.
Yeah. Guess you've seen quite a few captains in your day, haven't you? I've watched them all.
Yes, sir. There are advantages to ascending the ranks slowly.
Maybe I should have taken notes on that.
Well, we make use of the time we have. And I've had the opportunity to live life slowly.
It hasn't gotten any easier. From first day on a starship, I watched a man die in my arms. And I assume it was about a week ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, about.
Just last week, I saw the final death of the whole species. The finality of it. It's crushing. And I know, it doesn't get any easier. It's my job to look at these things objectively and not let them get to me.
No, sir, it's not.
But
You wouldn't
damn
be a
it!
good captain if they didn't get to you. You'd be a good security officer. Believe me, I know.
You know?
Yes. There's a reason I haven't had a command in all these years, sir. I wouldn't make a good captain.
Why not? I've put you on numerous away teams, and you always bring them back safe and sound through the thickest of situations. I don't think I could do that.
And I lean forward and I say, but I'm willing to let the alternative happen, sir.
And Harmon just
I'm willing to not come back from my mission.
and Harmon just looks at him. Isn't that the captain's job? Go down with his ship?
And I just shake my head. I've never thought so. Perhaps as some symbol to a crew, something of solidarity.
So,
If you give so that they may live, maybe. But my concern, personally, is pragmatic.
pragmatism. Good old Vulcan logic.
And Varro stiffens slightly. Something like that, sir.
I don't know. Gotta get over the melancholy, I guess. You said I should see
Maybe.
the counselor?
That's one possibility, sir. However,
I've
there's
always
something
been...
else that I feel might help you.
Oh?
I don't know how much you've read of the reports I've sent you over the last few days.
And Harmon just kind of motions over to a table with a set of neatly stacked, undisturbed data pads.
Snod. We're currently in negotiations. Species called the Astronus.
Negotiations?
They're in the early steps of making a mistake.
What kind of mistake?
A mistake of interference.
Are we
Of
talking
thinking,
Prime Directive?
yes, sir. They justify it, as the desperate often do.
They just what, as the desperate often do?
Justify it.
Yeah. We all know what justification can bring.
Indeed, sir.
Hitler, Communion Singh, and
Prime
worse.
examples.
Alright. Well,
Sorcerer Kings.
the good news is, and Harmon cracks his fingers, negotiations are my specialty. If that's what these pads are about, I should be able to get all the pertinent information down in, he looks at a clock that he has in his room, 20 minutes.
Yes, sir. However, one additional piece of information. This path that they're on, it involves a pre-warp species that they've become gods to, in a sense, providing them with everything they need in exchange for their raw labor. Just so you have the information.
Okay, that complicates matters. That really complicates matters.
And then I smile and I say, sometimes it's the work that keeps us going, sir.
You're right. You're right. Maybe this is just what I need to get back into it. Okay, give me...
And then I turn and leave.
Oh boy. So,
I feel like I'm turning into Liam O'Brien, and then I leave.
so I yada 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 flip through the clip notes and get all the pertinent information.
All right, and I think we'll head to the conference room with Captain Grennan entering.
And he's in a he is in his uniform, and his hair still is kind of a bit of a mess, but I mean, at least he's not wearing like, you know, he was wearing when Varro entered.
Captain Grennan, it's nice of you to join us.
Who said that?
The lead diplomat.
Okay. Do I have a name?
No. I did not make up. I barely had time to make up race names in this. So no one has names, so you can make one up if you want.
So this is the diplomat for the Astronus.
Yes,
Ah,
and it is a female if that matters.
okay. Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, Captain.
Sorry, it was just working through a few issues.
Commander Vardo has informed us.
All right, well, I'm back at damn it, Pend.
Damn it, Ben.
He says, well, I'd say I'm back in top shape, and by the way, Varro can immediately tell that was a bold-faced lie.
Yep.
And I'm ready to talk this over.
Very good. I believe our terms have been. What we offered has been laid out.
All right. What exactly has been offered and what has been laid out?
Right. Just out of character, what's been offered and what's laid out was they're going to trade their medical breakthroughs for our knowledge of how to better extract energy from dilithium.
Okay.
They've got like a miracle plant thing that gives them really good medicine, and they don't have good technology for dilithium.
Damn it,
Pretty much.
Evans. Okay. And so again, out of character, they haven't brought up any of the stuff relating to so they haven't been confronted about.
No, I
Sleeping.
did confront them about that.
Okay.
And they were saying it's necessary. What we've done has been for their good as well as ours. They've progressed so far in the 100 years that we've been there, and that they don't have enough people to do this kind of thing on their own. It's kind of like they're uplifting somebody in Stellaris,
Yep. No. Okay. I got that.
except they're also mining.
Yep. I see. Medicine, and you get our improved dilithium processes.
That is correct, Captain.
I understand. And he stands up and he looks out the window and he says, you gotta be careful with new technology, you know? Recently in our travels, we came across a race that gave advanced technology to a species that orbited their planet, and their species was not ready for it. And the result was the mutual annihilation of both parties.
Captain, I assure you, dilithium refinement is not a new technology for us. We just need help refining it better, to
It's
make
not-
our power stores better.
It's not a new technology for you, certainly. But, what was their species name again? The other ones?
Bunden? Or you mean the one you're talking about? Never mind.
No, the other species, the pre-warp one.
The one in this one, yeah, the Bunden.
Bunden? Yeah. Bunden aren't.
And we understand those risks, Captain. That's why we have not fully brought them into our society yet.
Can't have it both ways. You can't get the good out of this species' assistance while holding things from them.
Captain, 100 years ago, they were tree dwellers. They have come such a long way in that short time.
But was it their time?
Without the help of the Bunden, Captain, our race would surely have perished by now. We just don't have the power technology to sustain our race.
And I am also aware of that. Sometimes there is not an answer that pleases everyone. In fact, sometimes there's not an answer that pleases anyone. Sometimes a situation is just bad all around. I know. We watched it happen ourselves. But sometimes, when the awful, world-ending things happen, we come out better for it. Our planet has almost annihilated itself quite a few times. But we persevered. The question I ask you is, you slowly give them this technology, you slowly bring them into your society, and then what happens one day? One of them thinks, well, if we have the same technology as them, why can't we be better than them? And we all know where that ends. Trust me, this is a question that the Federation has struggled with for years. Our prime directive that tells us not to interfere is something that our species has is something that the Federation has wrestled with ever since we instituted the law over 200 years ago. Sometimes it doesn't help. Sometimes it really hinders us. But it's the sacrifice we have to make. So as to not subject another species to what some may see as a fate worse than death. And trust me when I say, it's an easy problem to stick your head in the sand and say that, oh, it'll all work out, and if it doesn't work out, it's someone else's problem. I know I've been doing that for the past 4 days. But sometimes you just have to look around and see the harm you're doing. By your actions or lack thereof.
Ambassador, I think we could come to an agreement, perhaps. We could assist you with integrating our knowledge of dilithium refinement. However, I think we'd have to have some assurance that the practice of subjugating this species would change.
Find a way to leave them in a stable place, sociologically, and then leave them to their own devices. We're offering you the solution to no longer need them. The question becomes, are you willing to give them up?
All right, I think at this moment, I think I need Captain Grennan and Commander Varro to please roll me presence and command.
Oh, hold on. I actually have to get into the game.
I can roll for you if you want.
I'll take care of it. It'll take me like a few seconds.
And I'm not judging this against a difficulty. I'm just judging this on number of successes.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys have no momentum, and I probably won't allow Brett Spence for this.
Okay, give me a sec. So I am gonna pop my determination. Always room for diplomacy. I have my diplomacy focus, presence, command. I wish we had some. Hang on, I gotta scroll all the way down to see where we're at. So we're both making this roll?
Right.
Hang on. Character sheet's freezing on me. Give me a sec. Come on. Come on. Jesus Christ. Yeah, hang on. My character sheet is freezing on me.
God damn it,
Varro, can you just roll it for me because my
Yeah.
the page just crashed.
I had the same thing happen when I tried to load in. I think it's being buggy today.
Okay, so I have a focus and presence command.
And you said you popped a determination too?
Yes, I did. So 2 more successes.
We've got quite a few successes here.
Yep.
What did I roll?
You rolled 4.
Yeah, you have a 6 total.
I'm sorry, I rolled 4. Oh, okay. So I
You rolled
succeeded
2
on-
2s. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 6 for you, and then the commander rolled another 3, so that's
Jesus.
9 total.
Jesus, what numbers did I get?
You got 2 3s,
Hell yeah.
and I got a 2 and a 9.
Feels good.
Okay. So the ambassador is going to look at you, at both of you, because I assume you're sitting
Yes.
next to each other. She says, with the Federation's guidance, I am sure that we can leave the Bundin in a better place.
But leave them.
That is correct, Captain.
Understood. And without breaking eye contact, he just picks up whatever the equivalent of the future pencil is, and he scribbles his signature on the document and slides it over.
And she looks it over, gives out a sigh, for the betterment of our people, and signs it. And I think we'll head back to the planet at the moment.
Well, I'm finished with Calder, so I'll head over to the dock.
Because what I'm getting at is this is probably going to be a good opportunity for a comm call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll head over to the shuttle then.
Quite possibly initiated from the Kismet.
Yes. Captain,
Yes.
if we can just hop over to a brief scene on that, because I actually was having the same idea.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Go
Okay. So yeah, we go over to
ahead.
I believe Lieutenant Pend, Lieutenant Evans, and Dr. Efrix should be informed of this decision, if I may.
Of course, and the captain takes the center chair, and you see sort of this just smile, and he closes his eyes as he just sort of settles into the chair and just sort of seems to. The tension that you've seen in his body throughout the day, it all just melts away as soon as he sits back in the chair.
Right. Ensign, hail to Neruda.
Channel's open, Commander.
Kismet to Neruda.
Neruda
Do you
here.
copy? Lieutenant Pend, we have reached an agreement with the Astronus. You are to extract yourself from the planet at your earliest discretion.
Understood. If you don't mind me asking, what type of agreement? Because things are a bit. Information we're getting from down here is not looking good for them.
The Astronus are going to cooperate with the Federation in trying to improve the situation down there in exchange for our information on how to improve their ability to generate power.
Okay, that's no problem, Commander. I'll when we get back to the ship, I'll give you a report on how bad this society's gotten to.
Yes, Lieutenant. I'm sure the doctor has been, well, I can only imagine.
Well, we'll pack up and we'll come back to the ship as soon as possible. Penned out. Communicator Evans, Doctor.
Here.
Efrix here.
We just received communications from the Kismet to pack up and leave.
Well, I'll be returning to the shuttle as fast as I can.
It might take me a minute. But understood.
Understood?
All right, so I think you pretty much all made it back to the shuttle.
Oh, I was gonna leave all of the bandages,
Okay.
but take everything else. And instructions and promises from our help. If we
Okay.
don't do it, well, then they don't think we're good gods anymore, and that's not a bad thing.
Cool. Yep, but yeah, you make it all back to the shuttle.
If that's the case, I will try to take off without an energy beam knocking us back down again.
Yeah, and you guys are able to take off from the planet. No sight or sound of that energy beam that hit you the first time. And I think I'll end the scene with the shuttlecraft flying away from the planet. And I think we'll call that the end of False Gods.
Whew.